Hello, my beautiful yellowbone, redbone, butter pecan, caramel, butterscotch, toffee, mocha, chocolate, cocoa exoticals. Welcome to the Pretty Girl Club. Welcome to the Exoticals United community. If you are new here, welcome. Here in the Exoticals United community, we support men and women from the following people groups: multiracials, biracials, multi-generationally mixed, and light-skinned golden people. Hey Pretty Girl Club, today I'm going to talk about some of the top ways that women have received their exotical tax. When I use the term exotical tax, what I'm really talking about is being upwardly mobile. So that just means increasing your socioeconomic status, increasing your social status, and just living a better life, kind of getting the things that you want. I've noticed that a lot of women who have pretty privilege have been able to utilize that pretty privilege, or they've been able to utilize their multi-ethnic backgrounds in order to gain opportunities. So today we're going to be looking at a few examples. Some of these women are extremely famous and other women are famous online. And so let's start off with the one and only Shira 7. So Shira 7 is an exotical. She is African American and Puerto Rican, so she does have a mixed race background. And I've actually seen a lot of women use a similar method that she uses, which is building an online following. You guys have heard me say in the Discord, I actually believe that every person in the Exoticals United community should have her own YouTube channel, her own blog, her own podcast, or something where you are getting your voice heard. Because if you stay consistent online for long enough, eventually your channel is just going to become a destination channel. I would say if your content is good enough, then your channel will become so special to the point where people are going just so they can watch you because you have something special about yourself. So when it comes to Shira 7, love her or hate her, you may agree with the things that she says, you may not agree with the things that she says, but you are going to see her popping up on your timeline every now and again. And that's because if there's one thing she is good at, it's being consistent. She's always uploading, she's always talking about things, and she's always authentic to who she is. And she doesn't waste time on her YouTube channel talking shit about other YouTubers or engaging in online beef or anything like that. She's literally just growing her own business and building her brand. So let's take a quick look at how Shira 7 makes money. By the way, this is just, I'm using her as an example. So if you go on to a website called Social Blade, you're able to see an estimate of that YouTuber's income. So if you're a part of the YouTube Partner Program online, you can get paid by Google AdSense. So depending on what your video topic is, you're going to get paid maybe $1 per thousand views, $5 per thousand views, and it just depends on what you're talking about. So it says here on Social Blade that the average monthly income that Shira makes from her channel is anywhere from $400 to about $6,400 per month. So that's very good. Imagine being able to get paid by just going online and talking about the things that you love. Imagine getting paid $77,000 a year so that you can talk shit about Dusties. I mean, that's a pretty sweet gig, isn't it? If anyone is getting her exotical tax, it certainly is Shira 7. She also has her own makeup line. It's called Level Up Cosmetics. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that she's written a book or maybe even more than one book. So that's already one, two, three streams of income right there. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she also has like a Patreon or something like that, or a Cash App that people can donate to. So imagine being able to make close to $100,000 and all you're doing is live streaming. That is an example of getting your exotical tax. So she's literally just coming on the internet, looking cute, doing her hair and makeup, and just talking about the things that she loves. And I see a lot of exoticals using this method, kind of going the influencer route. I've seen plenty of girls on Instagram. They do things like fashion or makeup or things of that nature. So if you want to use your pretty privilege, but maybe you don't want to go to Hollywood or do things like that, you may want to think about trying to do something online because it can be very lucrative. I am online, obviously, and I love having a YouTube channel. I have grown such a beautiful community here, and it's really cool once you get to meet other people who have the same mindset as you. So she is example number one. Another example of someone who really did a great job at getting her exotical tax is Rihanna. She started off as a singer and she was able to kind of build her career up. And then once she felt like she hit a ceiling in her career or she felt like she didn't have creative control, she decided to completely quit the music industry altogether and go down a totally different route. Do you know how many singers quit the music industry and they fall off the face of the earth and you never hear of them again? That didn't happen with Rihanna. Instead, she decided to invest in creating her own business about something she was interested in, and that was makeup. And she created Fenty Beauty. She also created the whole Savage X Fenty corporation. And so those things literally catapulted her into billionaire status. And you guys may be looking at these people and thinking, well, I can't relate to celebrities, but it's like, yes, you actually can, because is there any business idea that you're sitting on right now? Is there anything that you've always wanted to do or something you've always wanted to sell and you've never even tried to? So, when it comes to this Exotical tax series on my channel, I'm going to be talking about this because I feel like even though we've established our own community and we've established who we are, I also want us to begin talking about strategies and ways that we can begin to level ourselves up, because not only is it important for us to tell our stories, but I want us to be able to continue being the face of beauty. I want us to continue to be the face of success. I want us to continue to keep our social status and to keep leveling up and to keep getting that exotical tax. So the next example I have, this is actually a male example. Someone who is fantastic at getting his exotical tax. I know it sounds kind of feminine or whatever, but Kenya Barris. So even though I've never even seen his TV shows, Kenya Barris, he clearly has an agenda. His agenda is to promote his phenotype, and he didn't wait around for Hollywood to cast him or to cast people who looked like him. No, he became the person that was doing the casting. He became the person creating the TV shows. And so he created multiple shows that specifically showcased people that share our phenotype here in the Exoticals United community. So once again, I think it's extremely important for us to think about how we can stay in positions of social power, because yes, being pretty, that's a great thing, but there are some people who don't want to have to live their lives based on things like pretty privilege. And in Kenya Barris's case, he's a man, so I feel like it's kind of harder for a guy to live on pretty privilege unless he's feminine. But he is an example of someone who has used his creativity to be a pioneer in his industry and to put MLS people and to put our stories at the forefront. So I would say that's actually very important. Other examples of people who I feel have done a great job at getting their exotical tax, they are actually monoracial exoticals. Chloe and Halle. I think that both of them have acted as pioneers in their own way. So when it comes to Halle, it is the whole breaking stereotypes thing. She was able to get cast in The Little Mermaid, and even when you think about the way that Halle sings, she sings in kind of like this opera sounding Disney princess 1950s kind of retro vocal tone. She doesn't sing with the average gospel R&B type of sound that you hear a lot of black girls singing with, and she has totally used that to her advantage. And it has helped her to have more of a fluid identity. It has helped her to navigate in multiracial spaces. And when I say multiracial spaces, I'm saying spaces where it is not run only by people of her background. She's done a fabulous job at that. So, Exoticals, as you're watching this, is there anything about yourself that maybe breaks stereotypes? For example, let's say you dress a certain way and it goes against the stereotype of your ethnicity. Or let's say you talk a certain way and it goes against the stereotype of where you came from. Is there a way that you can use that to break barriers? Is there a way that you can use those special things about yourself to get into a new position? Let's talk about Chloe. So, even though I feel like Chloe has made her mistakes, I still feel like she has done a really good job at making herself the center of attention. If there's anyone who you're always going to have in your face, it is going to be Chloe. And I think that she's very Afrocentric and she has used her, African American dance skills and her African American style singing voice. She has used that to garner attention towards herself. And so I would say if you're a monoracial exotical and you happen to be Afrocentric or whatever, or maybe you like wearing your hair in braids, or maybe you have a certain vocal style and you like to sing that way, or maybe you like African culture and you really want to embrace that, that is fine because you can still get the things that you want in life. You can still attain wealth and social power by knowing how to navigate in those spaces. And that is something that Chloe has always been good at as well. Another girl that has been fabulous at getting her exotical tax and being successful at social climbing is Jasmine Tooks. Jasmine Tooks is a mixed race. I think she's West Indian. She's a model and she has a multiracial background. I'll share a couple of pictures of her family if I can find them, but she's done a fabulous job at number one, minding her own business and staying out of the public eye and not allowing people to invade her privacy. And number two, she's also used the little bit of fame and notoriety that she had from modeling to build a following on Instagram. And now she is starting her own brand where she's like doing activewear and clothing and things like that. So, again, you ladies can take a tip from Jasmine. Is there a brand you've always wanted to start? Have you ever wanted to write an ebook? Have you ever wanted to sell eyelashes or nail polish or have something where you can put your own label on it and people will buy it from you and you can use that as a source of income? Jasmine Tooks has done that. She also happened to marry a guy, I believe he's a Latin American guy, and he's like this multimillionaire businessman. So, for those of you ladies who want marriage and you want to marry a guy with money or whatever, well, Jasmine has done that. I'm not saying that that would be realistic for everyone because, like I said, I know some of you guys don't want marriage or maybe you just don't have access to those types of circles, and that's okay. But for those of you who care, she did recently get married as well. The reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because I do think it's important to talk about money and ways to become upwardly mobile, ways to get what you want in life, and ways to find yourself in higher social circles. I feel like because we have pretty privilege and because we are often the beauty standard in whatever social circles we're in, this causes people to want to keep us in the same circle. So, for example, let's say you're an exotical and you are from the ghetto or you're like from the hood or whatever. Those guys want to keep you there in the hood. You know why? Because you're the prize there. You are their prize. They're out unaliving people and selling illegal things so that they can have you. And so I don't want us to stay trapped in the same scenarios that we've always been in because I feel like a lot of people go out of their way to sabotage MLS women because they know that it's very easy for us to actually social climb due to our phenotypes and due to how interesting we look or whatever. And it's like, you know what? If people are going to like fetishize us or if people are going to admire our beauty, we might as well use those things to our advantage. We did not create the beauty standard. We did not create this capitalistic system that we live in. We just are benefiting from it. And that's it. And I would say that there's nothing wrong with benefiting from it because if other people could trade places with you, they easily would. So, for example, a lot of people they get mad at the Kardashians because they were born like multimillionaires, and it's like you may get mad at them, but if you had the choice to be born as a multimillionaire, you would take that choice easily. It's always the people who are like at the bottom who get mad at people who just happen to have certain privileges over them. Like for me, I don't get mad at people who were born rich and they were born white and then they like get to be multimillionaires by the time they're 5 years old because their grandpa's been working a long time. I don't get mad at those people because a part of living in the world we live in is yes, everyone has different advantages and disadvantages. So, whatever advantages you have, whether it's your multi ethnic background, whether it's being able to relate to a lot of people, whether it's being able to look like a lot of people, or being able to blend in a lot of different cultures because you're ambiguous. Maybe you're talented, or you're very business oriented, or you're super creative. There's nothing wrong with getting out of poverty because you simply knew how to use what you were born with. Why is it okay for everybody else in the entire world to use whatever privileges they have? Melanin privilege. Oh, my melanin's popping. I have black girl privilege. Oh, my hair is thicker than yours. I'm going to age better than you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, I have white privilege. Why is it okay for every other person to use whatever they have to become someone. And suddenly, when you're a mixed race person or when you look racially ambiguous, suddenly, oh no, that's not fair. You can't do that because you're having a superiority complex. You think you're better than others. No, that's a form of gaslighting. That is a typical phenomenon I see when people covet you or they're jealous of you. They don't want you to surpass them even more, or if it's a guy who wants to kind of own you, or even a family member who wants to own you and control you, they see you as like this pet or like this doll or this person to kind of live vicariously through. They have this mindset of, oh no, you are the closest proximity to success that I'll ever have, and so therefore I don't ever want you to leave my life. I want you to stay right here and live under my roof, or I want you to stay right here and be my girlfriend because you are the only form of success that I will ever have, and so I need to be in proximity to you, otherwise I will feel like a loser because I have nothing else going for me. No, we are not other people's living, walking Barbie dolls. If I'm going to be a Barbie doll, I'm going to be my own Barbie doll in my own Barbie land, and I'm going to be living my best life. I'm not going to spend my life as another person's commodity, and I feel like a lot of people make us exoticals their commodity. The black community makes us their commodity of beauty. A lot of men make us their commodity of sex. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want us to be able to take ownership over our own lives, over our own finances, and I want us to be able to social climb and live in whatever circles we want to live in. So it's like, okay, if you want to go to Hollywood, go to Hollywood. If you want to be an influencer, be an influencer. If you want to move abroad and live in a different country, go and do that. If you'd rather be a housewife, go and do that. If you don't want to be a housewife, that's okay too. We are not a monolith. And I'm going to be talking more about this whole concept of exotical tax because I feel like not only does it resonate with you guys, but I just want to see more of us succeed so that we can keep on dominating in our own areas. I want more people to be like Kenya Bears. I want to see more women doing their thing when it comes to Hollywood. I want to see more of us being socialites or being beauty icons or doing music or having YouTube channels. I want more channels to exist like how mine is. I want to see more YouTube channels that talk about MLS issues or even channels that are just created by women who look like me. I would love to support that. So anyway, let me know what you think of this video. If you like it, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and subscribe to me on Patreon. And I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.